Hello and welcome back. If you're new here, hi, my name's Caitlin. I'm the owner and maker behind Little Women Creations. Today I'm going to be picking out some yarn and some projects because we are going to be heading to Canada tomorrow. If you're new here, I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we're going to be driving to Canada too. So it's going to be a great road trip, lots of crochet car time. We're going to be there for 5 days. Lots of time in the car, lots of time just hanging out with some friends, so I want to have plenty of projects to work on. So let's get into it. First thing, as you all should expect at this point, is the craft closet is a mess. There is a little bit of science to it. All of the bags have projects or yarn, that kind of stuff in it. So I do know right off the bat I need this bag. So I'll grab that. Mr. Titty Bee. I do have this bag already grabbed, so I will go through and we're going to sit and I'll tell you about all of the projects I'm bringing. But I also have this bag to fill, so we can open it up and then get some yarn to put in it. So I have my 3 project bags, and I also have new yarn. I can't be stopped, I guess. But let's go through what's in each of these bags, and a little bit of like why I'm bringing them. So first off, this bag I like to bring on almost all of my trips because it has all of these different spots for hooks. There are more spots on the other side to put notions, more hooks, that kind of stuff. So I will fill this probably sometime this morning still. In it, I do have some cotton yarn. So this is the Loops and Thread 100% cotton. It's a 4mm. It's most comparable to like Lily's Sugar and Cream. It is a little softer, which I like. Michael's had a buy one skein, get one 50% off, so that's why I have a large bag. But the reasons I brought it over is because I have more colors, and I'm using these colors to make Kelsey from Passionate Goods. I've been making her Sneak a Peek top. So let me just tie these so I can show you. You probably, if you are anywhere on the TikTok world, you've seen these before. This is the extra small size, and this is that color that's in here. So I have this color I'm going to bring, which this one's done, so I can leave it here. I don't need to bring it. I use a 4mm hook with these, so that's already in here. I did go and purchase a Clover Amore 4mm hook because I love my furls hooks, but I only have the resin ones, and that makes me really nervous when I'm working with my 4.5mm. I am going to be looking into getting one of their metal hooks for it though. This was quick and easy, run to the store to get one. I do have a small started, so I'm just about ready as you can see, I finished the first bottom here, so the next row is now creating a chain for it. So this one's pretty much almost done. I'll probably need to start a second skein with it. So in here I have the small size ready to go and 4 skeins of this lilac ombre. In total I had purchased 6 of these little skeins of cotton, and I did 2 different colors previously with my last Michaels yarn stop, and I was able to get a extra small, medium, and large out of 6, and then a 2XL, an extra large, and a large out of the other 6. I do need to get more yarn though for the larger sizes because I cut my chain short and so they're uneven. I have like a couple of rows left to finish on one. So that one for the 2X, the XL, and the large, I would probably need to get like 7 skeins. But Michaels, at the store I went to earlier this week, they only had 6 skein of the same color in these colors that I bought. So I'll show you now the next ones I have. So first off, this is Smoke Ombre, and so it's really pretty. It's got some grays, whites, and some pinks. So there should be 6 of those. 4, 5. Oh, here it is. 6. So I'm actually going to take these ones out because I know this is the project I'm currently working on. And then the last color that I have is actually a Lily Sugar and Cream. And this is in the color Poppy. So this one's just like a nice orange and white. I think it's going to get some really fun stripes in it. So that pretty much fills it, but there is some space at the top, so that's where I'll put the other 4 in. I might have to put them sideways, actually. Great. Alright, so that finishes up this project bag. There are holes at the top, too, that you can run your yarn through, so if you are someone that likes to keep your yarn in a specific area and it doesn't roll around, this is great for it as well. I got this as a Christmas gift one year, a couple years ago actually, but I think my aunt got it off of Amazon, so if I can find it, I will link it down below. Just because I've used this now, it's super durable, I highly recommend it. The reason I'm bringing these along is because I am starting to prep for some summer markets. I do have one officially confirmed on June 17th, and I also just want to make sure that I have a wide variety of colors and sizes. I really want to be a size inclusive business, and this is my first time making wearables that are specific to size. I've done the hexagon cardigans before in mass quantity, if you want to say, and those are variable sizes. These ones I know exactly the size that they're going to be based on Kelsey's pattern, and she had it extensively tested. She has been selling those products for a while, so I trust her sizing as well. I'll show you when we get in the car tomorrow probably, because we're not leaving today. We are going to Chicago for the afternoon to go see some friends and visit, but we are leaving for Canada tomorrow. So I will show you tomorrow when I get in the car, but I do have a nice setup where I can have my phone in a vent phone holder, and that allows me to check a pattern as I need to and then just crochet away. That's why I like to bring these ones. They're small, it's compact. I'm going to be able to get so much inventory out of just this one bag of yarn. If this is all I brought, honestly, that probably would be fine too, but I am the kind of person where I need to make sure I have enough that I don't run out of stuff to do. It's very sad because I'm not going to be crocheting the entire time, but a large majority of the time I will be. So the first bag, I'm just going to move this. I guess I can show you quickly. I just have 4 different colors of Sweet Snuggles Light. So I didn't have this one. This is the color Peach Pink. And then these are all ones that I've gotten before. This one is navy, meadow violet, and rhubarb. So these will all be some sort of plush. I use these for strawberries, eggplants, blueberries, and these I'm going to try and use for peach. We'll see what else I'm going to use them for though. Like I mentioned, I do have my first summer market on June 17th, but I'm not really planning to market prep during this time. I don't want to be bringing polyfill, safety eyes. I usually do for these road trips, but because we're going through customs, I want to make sure that there's enough space for everything we need for the dogs. So we are bringing Teddy and Riley. It'll be an adventure going through customs with dogs. Neither myself or my boyfriend has done that. So we'll see how that goes. But I just want to make sure that everything I had was compact, that I just brought like 1 or 2 hooks for every project, that kind of stuff. So the next project I have is this navy and teal polka dot bag. This is from the brand 31. My mom used to be a consultant, so we have lots left over from her. And in here, it looks like I do need to either get some yarn or check my stash to see if I have it. But if you remember these colors briefly, if you've been watching my videos or been around on the channel a little bit, you'll know that I did my heart cardigan. I'll post a picture up here for you guys. But I did get a custom order for a second one, so I am going to bring it just in case I can start some squares, get going on that, because there's not a timeline on it, but I'd like to get it done sooner rather than later. This is also just a great mindful, however you want to say it. It's a very mind-numbing project. So if I am starting to feel nauseated all in the car from checking patterns or anything like that, I can just switch over to this. I know what it is. It's just granny squares, so it's very simple. And I do already have my hook in here, and it's the 5.5 Furls Streamline hook. This is in their discontinued colorway, the Cafe Swirls. But it looks like I will need to get some more green and another thing of this burgundy. So I will check my stash to see if I have any in there. Other than that, I have the yellow, brown, and 1 skein of pink, which I probably should get another. So that might be something as we're going to Chicago today. I can see if we can stop along the way. But if not, again, this is just like a mindless one. Sorry, there's a little bit left over of some of that metal purple or whatever color. So that's this one. And I think, yeah, self-explanatory. This is just one that I can work on when having a conversation, when sitting around outside, watching the dogs, that kind of thing. I don't need to be paying attention to the pattern, so that's why I'm bringing that one. That one's just back of the mind, need to do something with my hands. There we go. Finally, this last project bag, I actually do have 2 projects in it, so that will be a total of 4, which I think I mentioned is the number that I wanted to bring. I think 3 to 4 projects for a long trip like what I'm doing is a good amount. If you have a project that's a little bit bigger, maybe then you only want to bring 1 or 2. Road trips and vacations in general are just a great time to finish any sort of whips you currently have as well. If you bring even a UFO or an unfinished object, it's a great time to force yourself to work on it, because if you know that you want to be doing some sort of craft, whether that's needlepoint, embroidery, crochet, knitting, anything like that, that it's easily you can pick up, bring with you, bringing those unfinished objects is a great thing to do. So I actually just finished one of my unfinished objects that's been in the podcast for a bit. It's the Valentine's Granny Square Hexagon cardigan. So that's finished. I did get my last skein of yarn that I needed for that, so hooray to me. And I do have one more unfinished object, but it's just not worth me bringing it because it's only a third a skein of yarn left, and it's a big project. It's kind of heavy too, so we'll keep those away. But this one here, one of these is actually a pattern test, so I will show you first off. This is the Lion Brand's Low Tide. I think it's a discontinued yarn. I got this in a batch of free yarn that was given to me. I can link it up above for you to watch if you want to go see those. It is a chain net construction in the color Coast. Let me find, oh, here it is. There are 306 yards or 280 meters per skein, and that comes to 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. Medium, weight 4, 81% acrylic, 19% polyester. And I'm actually doing a pattern test with this, so I'll show you a little bit close up. I'm doing a pattern test for a beach jumper / cover-up. It's by Georgia from Jago Crochet, and I'll be sure to link all of her stuff below. She does have free crochet and knit tutorials here on YouTube, so definitely go check those out if you're interested. She does a lot of fun lacy work, a lot of fun tank tops, beach cover-ups, that kind of stuff, so perfect for the summer weather here in the United States. Besides that though, I need to do a gauge swatch before we leave to grab a hook size. I think she recommended anywhere between a 4 or a 5. So I might be good with just grabbing like a 4.5 millimeter, and I already have a 5.5 and a 4. So I should be good, honestly. But I'll just grab those just in case. So this should be plenty of yarn. The size that I'm doing is a size large, and it only calls for 380 yards. So I should be able to use both of these no problem. That way I also have a little extra if maybe after I'm done, if I want to add it a little, make it a little longer, maybe make the straps different, that kind of stuff. But this is for a pattern test, and I'm very excited for it. The reason I'm bringing it to you is because it is a granny stitch. So again, that's very simple to do. Once I know my stitch count for a row, I can just turn my phone off, look at the pattern quick, turn it off, and get crocheting. And then kind of the same thing that I was talking about with the sneak a peek tops. I can just quickly look at the pattern, move on crocheting. This next one, a little backstory. Again, if you've been following me here for a while, you will know that my boyfriend and I are big soccer fans. So we have season tickets to the MLS team closest to us, which is the Chicago Fire. So they're based in Chicago, Illinois. If that doesn't click, there you go. And he has been helping to run this passion project, which pretty much is a website that he's the one that does not designed, but he is monitoring the website, doing all of the tech things for it. And they are a small group of guys that are giving news, team updates, that kind of stuff for the casual fan for the Fire. And one of the guys on the team asked me to make a hat inspired by their little he's in the unofficial mascot of their group. So their little mascot is called Lil, L-I-L apostrophe Fire. And he was like, can you make me a beanie inspired by Lil Fire? And he asked about it the other day, so I was like, this is the perfect time to work on it. So Lil Fire is red, and he does have some orange in him, right? So like fire. So I'm bringing both of those. I do have 2 skeins of this red, and this is Premier Just Worsted yarn. I think I had gotten this again for free from someone. I haven't bought yarn ever from Dollar Tree, so I'm not entirely sure, but I think these were mini skeins that I caked up into 2 big skeins. So I have that, and then this is a Big Twist value. I can see it. I'm not going to take it out because I don't want it to ruin the cake. But my thought process behind it is I'm going to be making it similar to a Carhartt beanie for that the men especially wear. But I'm going to do every other row is a different color. So red is going to be the primary color with orange in the background, and you won't necessarily see the orange until you stretch out the beanie. So I'm going to do ribbed. I haven't decided if I want to do single crochet or half double crochet. I'm going to do some sort of rib that then you can fold over. And the idea will be I'll start with red, switch to orange, red, orange, red, right? You'll see it in the process as I make it too. It'll probably be a part 2 in this video, but that's the idea behind it. So we're gonna start it. He sent me his typical like baseball hat size, so I'm gonna do some Googling and see how that compares over to inches, centimeters, something like that. I also do have this navy here, which is this Furls Wander acrylic yarn. If you haven't got their stuff before, it's got a really pretty shine to it. It's super soft, but this is going to be for Lil Fire's eyes. So his eyes are just, the picture of him is like a navy, so that's why I grabbed navy. But I'm gonna copy the eyes and then stitch those on to the beanie so that it looks like Lil Fire. I think I'm also actually gonna grab some black and white acrylic though, because I don't know if I want to just have a solid navy on it. I don't think that'll look like eyes necessarily. So that project's in here as well. I'm probably gonna use a 5mm hook. Sorry, I had acrylic fiber in my mouth. So honestly, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring a 4, 4.5, 5, and 5.5mm, which it's very uncommon for me to bring small hook-sized, or like even medium hook-size needles with me. Or not, oh my gosh, not needles. Crochet, all of the words. I do have a Notion bag that I'm going to sift through and grab things from, so I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to finish up. I have a project that I'm working on right now. I'm going to finish up my coffee, watch some more videos here on YouTube, and then get going with my day. All right, so we are officially on the road. It's Monday, May 29th. I'm working on that sneak a peek top that I showed you all before. So it's actually almost done. It shouldn't take me too much longer, but I do know I'm going to need another skein for it. So I'll just keep you updated as I finish projects or work on some. Probably do some time-lapse videos as well and stuff. Welcome back to Wisconsin in the United States of America. The trip went really well. It was very warm though, which was a little sad, but we did all of the touristy things. We had such a good time at Niagara Falls. We went to Toronto for a day. So my crochet time was mainly in the car. So from Milwaukee, we went up down through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Indiana through Michigan, through the Ambassador Bridge in Detroit, Michigan area, got over into Canada, and then made our way from there to Niagara, Ontario, Canada. The Airbnb that we stayed in the first night, we didn't get there until about 3 a.m. and unfortunately we did have to rebook because it was not suitable for living. This is the first time that has happened to us where we had to leave immediately. Because we got there so early in the morning though, we had to stay overnight. There wasn't another place for us to go, but we did leave the next day and go to a new Airbnb, which was about 15 minutes north in Niagara on the Lake, Ontario, Canada. That Airbnb went great. So Tuesday was when we had to deal with all of that. We went and did some grocery shopping. So Tuesday I didn't really get to crochet much in the afternoon. I worked a little bit in the morning on some projects and then helped to move all of our things to the new Airbnb, did some grocery shopping, and I think I may have crocheted a little bit that evening too. Wednesday, my boyfriend and I went to Niagara Falls and we did the power station, which was really cool. A lot of hydropower that was being created for electricity from 1905 to about 2006, 2009, something like that. So I didn't get much crocheting done that morning, but that afternoon we did drive to Toronto, and that was about an hour and a half to a 2-hour drive. So I was able to get a lot of crochet time in the car on the way to Toronto and on the way back from Toronto. Thursday we also went back to Toronto. So that was a 2.5-hour drive in the morning and about a 2-hour drive home. So that was a lot of crochet time in the car. And then I also got to work on some crochet stuff that evening because we were just so tired. We cooked out. It was a great time in total. Again, it just was really hot that day, so that kind of took away some of the fun. Thursday was our big Niagara Falls, do all the things, or no, sorry, Friday was our big Niagara Falls, do all the touristy things. So I did no crocheting during the day, but we got to do an awesome 4-hour walking and boat tour. We got to go behind the falls, and it just was overall so amazing to see everything. That evening I was able to get a lot of crochet done, and then Saturday we left and we actually went from Niagara down to Fort Erie, and I stopped at a yarn store. We were going to stop on Friday, but we were just so tired. My boyfriend was starting to have very bad allergies, and the air quality wasn't great because of the fires that have been happening in Western Canada. The smoke is starting to trickle over into the eastern side of Canada, and also here in Wisconsin we have a really bad air quality alert right now. But we went to this cute little yarn store called The Creative Knitter. I'll show you what I got just right here. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that locally dyed yarn is my souvenir on trips. And I think it's just so fun to make a little collection of the yarn done by local artists. I am a big advocate for shopping small and shopping locally first before anything. And this has just been the one souvenir that I get every trip. I started it about 1.5 years ago when we went to Minnesota. It's just been great. So this one is a little different than what I usually get. I typically get a superwash merino wool in DK weight, and this is actually a sock set. So it came with two, let's see here. Yes, two 20-gram mini skeins, and then one about 100, yes, this one 100-gram skein. And it's called Island Time. So the reason I got this colorway instead of picking out just one is because this colorway was based on the islands and the lakes around Canada, specifically in the Ontario region. So it's this really pretty dark blue, a fun little pink and red variegated, and then a gray variegated. There's also some blues in there too, and I'm sure once I hang it up, it'll be really pretty. I'll go a little more in depth about this in podcast episode 5. I'm going to be putting out this video. I have a video covering all of the things I crocheted for the Mayflowers Crochet Challenge hosted by Cozy Crafts and Korean Yarn Co. And I will go a little more in depth again in that podcast. That'll probably be a few weeks yet. But I'm really excited. I think I'm going to hold it double for whatever I do with it. We'll just see where it goes. But yeah, love it. So Saturday, like I said, we left Niagara on the lake, went to Fort Erie, crossed over into Buffalo, New York, and then made our way through the East Coast to the Midwest back to Wisconsin. And Saturday evening, we were driving through Chicago when Taylor Swift's concert was getting out. So thankfully, we missed a little bit of the traffic on the way into Chicago. We own electric cars, so we took our Volkswagen ID4 on the road trip, so we had some time to charge, let the traffic get through, and then we were able to get home. So we got home this morning at about 2 a.m. Long night, a long day of driving. It took about 14 hours, but lots of crochet time. I did drive for about 300 miles, so there was about a 3 to 4 hour time span that I was not crocheting, and I definitely was starting to lose my crochet endurance during this trip. But I have a nice little stack of stuff here to show you. When I was in the car, I was working on the Sneak a Peek top. This is a pattern by Passionate Kelsey, Passionate Goods, depending on what platform you look at it. Kelsey has a tutorial video here on YouTube for this specific top. I will be sure to link that below, and the paid PDF version, because that's what I use. So I was able to get through, if you remember, I had 3 different colors for cotton yarn. I only got through 2 of them. I still have all 6 of that 3rd gray kind of neutral colorway. So in total, let's see here, I should have laid them out, I'm sorry. I apologize. If you recall, when I went through this, I already had 1 top made, and I finished it before I left. So then that one doesn't count, but that was in this purple and yellow colorway, and that was an extra small size. So I was able to make 1 of every size on the trip. I started with the purples, so I was able to do a small, a medium, and a large. I have not woven in the ends for these yet, just because I didn't want to have to deal with weaving in ends in the car. These, I have a very good understanding of the construction of them, so usually when I've been pulling up the pattern, I just quickly memorize the numbers of the rows I need, and then I don't have to look at the pattern again. Because of that, like I said, I am doing a lot of car crocheting, car crocheting. That was a mess. And I like not being able to, 1, read a pattern, and 2, have to like look at my work the entire time. And so weaving in my ends, that takes time, right? Just not worth it. So small, medium, and large in the purple. In this fun orange and white colorway, I was able to do the 2XL and 1XL. Before, with the rainbow yarn that I've used, I had, right, same thing, it was 6 skeins. I was able to get a 2X, a 1X, and part of a large done, and I didn't want to run out of yarn again, so I decided to make an extra small in this yarn. So that one produced the 2X, the 1X, and the extra small. You can see here again, didn't weave in my ends, just wasn't worth it. So these Sneak a Peek tops were almost exclusively done in the car. I believe I worked on one of the orange and white ones briefly while we were in our Airbnb, but besides that, these were all crocheted in the car. Another thing that I have is a pattern test for Georgia with Jago Crochet. I'll be sure to link her YouTube channel below. She's got some awesome knit and crochet tutorials. But I pattern tested a new swimsuit cover up for her, and it turned out really cute. I think I'm going to go in, I do have a little bit more yarn left. I'm going to go in and make the legs a little longer. But besides that, it turned out so adorable. I finished this on the way to Niagara Falls one day. Excuse me. Sorry, my nose was itchy. I finished this on the way to Niagara Falls one day. I did take 1 picture in it, but I wanted to take some pictures by the poolside with it because it's a swimsuit cover-up. But unfortunately, there were just a lot of kids at the time that we went. It was super sunny. I wasn't able to get great pictures, so I have to retake the pictures. But the deadline for this is June 14th, so I have some time to send her some pictures. But absolutely great pattern. Make sure you go follow Georgia on her social media and her YouTubes. Be on the lookout for when this pattern is released. It worked up so quickly. It's just worked in a double crochet mesh stitch. I tested the large size, and it was wonderful. The way she wrote the pattern was great. She's got some awesome pictures in there, and she is making an accompanying YouTube video to show you how to attach the legs together. The last project that I was able to start and finish was this fun ribbed beanie. This was the first time that I've done an every other, or like a color change every row for a ribbed beanie. I really like how it turns out, and then you can flip over the hem and it's opposite. I think it's so cute. I'll put it on. It is a little big for me because it's meant for a male who has a larger head than I do, so that's why there's a little bit more bulk, but I think it's super cute. Just turn to the side here. It is not completely finished, and that's because this is supposed to mimic a mascot for the Chicago Fire. There's a group called Men in Red 97 who my boyfriend has been working with to like help run their website, but they're just supporters who are creating content for the casual fan. And their mascot is this little creature called Lil Fire, like Lil Fire. And he's in this orange and red color. And so I was tasked to make a hat that resembles Lil Fire. And so this was the base of it, and I'm going to finish up by putting on, I think I'm gonna do some eyes for it. So the mascot has these really fun cartoony eyes that remind me of Cuphead. That's kind of the idea that it went behind. So I am gonna see if I can make some eyes for it. It is typically in navy, but I don't know if I'm gonna like how the navy looks with the red and the orange. So I might do it in black and white. We'll see ya. Overall, that is everything that I made during this trip. Thank you so much for following along, and if you're still here, thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you're into this kind of stuff, if you like crocheting, fiber arts, small business talk, be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. I'm starting to get more into the groove of posting, so hopefully there will be more content very shortly. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and let me know down below what you thought. Did you like this kind of video? Do you think there's more I could have done? Do you think I did a well amount of crocheting on this trip? Or how much do you like to crochet on vacation? Is crochet something that you do at night to relax, or is crochet something that you just bring with you everywhere? Because I bring it with me everywhere. Thank you again so much, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.